Hey there, and welcome to the Invest In podcast. I'm your host, Zac Hoyt, real estate investor, RV park developer, and your guide to turning adventures into cash flow. Every Thursday, we dive into the strategies, tools, and mindsets that help you invest smarter and live freer. If you enjoy the show, tap subscribe, rate us, and share it with a friend. Now, let's get into today's episode. This episode is brought to you by RVParkConsultant.com. They are your go-to experts for purchasing, funding, designing, launching, and growing RV resorts and campgrounds. With over 35 years of hands-on industry experience, they offer smart park layouts, creative financing solutions, and operational optimization strategies to help you save money and boost your profits. Ready to turn your land into a thriving hospitality destination? Visit RVParkConsultant.com. Link is in the description below. All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. Great to see everyone here. We've got some wonderful regulars, some new faces. Holy smokes. Lots of people that love the outdoors and RV parks, right? Otherwise, you're in the wrong place. Look at that. Someone has an RV park, an RV in their background, probably either in the middle of the woods or an RV park, perhaps. Big old fire, much too big to be next to that RV, Greg. I like that. That's a good proportion sized fire for that RV. If nothing else, you know, fires are tons of fun. Great energy, right? One of the elements. Oh my gosh, we'll start talking about mindset, and I'll bring my wife on here again, talk about some of that. Happy Friday. So today we are going to be doing some deal analysis, right? Who's got a deal? Start thinking about that. Who's got a deal that we can chat about? I want you to start thinking, raise your hand if you've got one, because I want to start going about that. So get your files together because I want to ask you some quick questions about it. So make sure if you got a deal, get your numbers and stuff because we want to move fast. The point of knowing good deal analysis is how to move fast and move on to the next one because you're going to have to analyze a bunch of deals, right? Like you got to do a lot to find that one, the diamond in the rough, whatever that is. The more particular you're looking, the fewer you're looking to buy, the more important it is. Find that diamond in the rough. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone here. We're growing so fast, faster than ever, and it's because of all of you bringing things in. Lots of deals submitted. We're having fun moving things around. It's great. We love it. And so we are growing fast. And so right now we need to really focus on the contracts deals that we have going forward because some of you have deals that are going to make money with us. And ideally, I would want everyone around me to make money, learn how to do this, all the good things, everyone's goals. I want everyone's goals to be succeeding and achieving and stretching and having fun at the same time, because for me, that's part of the goal. So right now, we really have to focus on these contracts, these deals that we have. It's awesome. We've got a bunch of RVs that are RV parks that are under contract. I'm thinking about the fun places that we're going to get to stay with everyone and move around. But what I'm also confident of is that not all of these contracts are going to turn into closed deals because we are looking for those diamonds. We don't want to accept things that are grossly outside of our tolerance of risk, quite frankly. That's what it turns down to is a risk tolerance. When I'm looking at that like an engineer, when I'm looking at that like a business owner, and that's what deal analysis is all about. That's what these are meant to do. We've been bouncing around, but I want to do some deal analysis. So get ready if anyone has one. Yeah. And please network in the chat. Say hi. Make sure everyone knows where your chat is. I'm going to type in the chat. Do you see me? Say hi. let's chat in the chat. Let's do some fun things. It's meant to be interactive. And this way, if you have a question about something, you don't want to raise your hand, you don't know what, you put it in the chat. We want to help answer your questions. Heck yeah, good morning. Yes, 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 right? All of this. I see it. It fuels me. I'm here to help everyone. Heart people's text. Yeah, it's harder for me to heart them. I wish I could just say heart and then it'll heart everything. But you guys are working on it. See, I don't know. I clicked on something and now it's all over. Can't do all these things at once. So if you guys have fun in the chat, then I can just have fun with you and focus on whoever is analyzing these deals. So So what's going on is for us internally, as we're growing super, super fast, we've got all these deals, these contracts, we're helping everyone out. We've got these live sessions that are all over the time. And we just had a meetup that was last night. And gosh, how did that go, Ralph? Because I haven't even heard. You haven't even told me. How was the meetup?
We didn't
Fun?
have time to meet yet. So many things going on.
All right. Well then, yeah,
But
well,
it was great. It was great. Obviously, he condensed a lot of people that I see here. Was with us yesterday, and it was a lot of information, right? So with the self-directed retirement plans, was obviously that's what we are working so hard so we can enjoy life, right? In our later years and make sure families are supportive and supported and can thrive and enjoy life, right? So, but yes, it was great. Rick did a great job, and he everyone that's interested in move forward, Durrell or guest. He basically made himself available. He said he can fly anywhere to group events, so it was very informative. So I believe everybody liked as much as I did.
that's really cool. Self-directed IRAs are something that I have. They're very powerful. Learned about them early on. I'm always looking for ways to keep more money for myself and my goals. And that's essentially what we're trying to do is not give it to the government. Unfortunately, with self-directed IRAs, usually you have to keep it away from yourself right now. And that's kind of that trade-off is now money versus future money. But it grows um, without being taxed afterwards. So it's post-tax dollars growing and all of that. It's pre-tax dollars that grow without, doing lots of fun. There's so many ways with it, but there's restrictions and whatever. But here's a fun one, you guys. Here's three things. Three things. If you're an entrepreneur having a self-directed IRA, one of the fun things you can do is you can wholesale into it. And these will be real quick tips. Three tips. Should I give you these three tips? Shoot, I don't know. They're really powerful. They're fun. You could do it with RV parks, and it'll help pay for your kids, your health insurance, and you do it all tax free, and you can do it real quick. But um, yeah, it's so powerful with your self-directed IRA. You do a quick wholesale deal into it, put $100 up with your self-directed IRA money. You wholesale into it. You could make 10 grand, 30 grand with an RV park easily. It gets into your self-directed IRA. You can't touch it right now. Yeah, you can lend it out, but you can also do that with your HSA. So you could do that with your, for your healthcare insurance. You have an HSA, a Coverland Education Savings Account for your kids. Obviously, there's the 529. There's new plans that are coming out all the time, but there's always some powerful ways of moving money around. All that advanced stuff is really fun and nerdy. We get into it, and that's part of the thing of that we're balancing is all these different things that we get to balance at the same time while making tons of money and teaching everyone here. So that's all fun, advanced stuff. We can get to that at the right time for everything. But right now, yeah, it's just that thank you. Want to give to everyone. Glad the meetup went well, Ralph. Thank you for that. That's awesome. It was my wife's birthday yesterday, so I had to take a day off of the events, right? So we have to prioritize, and I'm really making sure to prioritize family first before everything else. Right? Isn't that what you want to do in life? So anyway, so we're focusing on that. We're focusing on our business. We're focusing on you guys more, you that are taking action and doing things because that's wonderful. And that's who we want to nurture. So because of all that, we have to unfortunately stop these live open Zooms that are to everyone. I know, so sad. These ones that are Friday, Tuesday, open to everyone, we have to stop those now. So, and perhaps we just call it a pause on those Zooms for now. That are open to everyone that's here. Heck yeah, Aaron. It's great to see you too, man. So because of all that, yeah, and we want to continue working with everyone that's committed to our project that's here. We're still accepting deals, right? Deals are still moving along. We really have to focus on these serious people. Oh, and Bryce, first time. Oh my gosh, I know, Bryce, first time you're here. And I knew there were going to be some first timers. I gotta acknowledge everyone that's been here before, that's been working with us, doing fun things. So, and everyone that's taking action, doing things, we want to really nurture on you. That's the exciting thing is we want to be able to focus on the people that are doing things, moving them forward, helping fold into what we're doing even more closely into our processes. And that way we all have more success and it's not just, scattered with everything else. But Bryce, yeah, there's going to be a possibility for you in here too. Yeah. And Bo, gosh, Bo, I don't even know about you too, man. That's the thing. I got a heart and love and can't wait to teach everyone everything about, oh my gosh, the world. I mean, experience it with everyone, teach you through our eyes with my wife, who's an energy healer, and little boys learning everything. Ralph, I swear I met doppelgangers for my family at the gym today. When I was deadlifting, they were running in the middle of the soccer where you have the whole soccer field, indoor soccer track. I'm a little squinty eyed because I'm a little lightheaded. And it's a redhead with two blonde boys running around about the age. And I'm like, am I crazy right now? Like, the only ones that are in there, like, that looks like my family yesterday in there. I'm like, who are these people? What's going on? Then I see a third. I'm like, okay, it's not them. And I'm walking in. I'm the creepy one that's opening it, going into the soccer field, walking. I'm like, hey there, not meaning to be creepy or anything, but you look a lot like my wife and my kids running around here. And so I got her number, which is crazy to say too. And we're going to have fun hanging out. Her family and mine, they're right next to us here and they got a membership for the month. So, we're changing up our goals, what we're doing. We're prioritizing things and we want to help you guys that are real close to us prioritize your things too, if you're open to any of that. I just love sharing our experience and helping everyone uplift in any way possible. And oh my gosh, I'm a sponge for anyone. If you got hacks for anything on life, love it. Food, working out, like family, RV parks, outdoors, nature, fitness. Holy smokes, love all that. So that's what we're going to do. In just a second, we're going to analyze some deals. So again, if anyone has a deal ready, get your numbers ready, and we'll have you raise your hand. And we're still accepting deals ourselves. We're just moving things forward. That's the crazy thing about all of this is it's awesome. I'm so excited. And so it's just we have to take a pause on doing all these lives so that we can focus our time with everyone else. And then we'll have an open time where I'll let anyone else that's part of our team that's moving forward with us and stuff, just bird dogging, learning, growing, focusing on what we're doing, taking action. Then Ralph is going to help reach out to them, right? Because Ralph's our chief marketing officer. He handles those outreach of everything. And so, Ralph, what's going to happen from here on out so that they know what to expect? Like an email is going to go out or something.
Yeah, so we actually were concerned about the reactions, and we knew there would be some first timers, some people that couldn't show up in previous events. This should not be something sad. It should be actually something even more exciting because what we're doing is we're working closer to the people that have been working with us. So, what we found is that when we bring everybody in a call together, some of you that have some urgency in analyzing your deals might not have a chance to bring them live because we have 3 or 4 deals that we are now analyzing, and sure enough, they couldn't talk about their deal and get the assistance that they need. So instead of being putting out this time, we're sectioning everything, and we're going to be on one-on-one with everybody that's either analyzing deal or submitting deals to us. Obviously, the best way to analyze your deal is to submit that with us, in which case I'm actually going to provide the link to you guys here. So if you do have a live deal, you can submit here on our website. It's pretty straightforward. And from that point on, for us to stay in contact with everybody that have been here and participated in the past and are here today, everybody will receive an email and a text message saying, hey, it's a pleasure. We want to work closer with you. Let's book time, or let's get together this date or this time to analyze your deal and keep moving forward. Or buy box is there on the website, but I will also post it here so everybody can see. Actually, Kevin, can you post that for us there on the chat if possible? That would be great. And yes, so everybody's gonna get an email, and we're going to work closely with you guys. So like Zac mentioned, this is not an and, this is a pause. And so we can get our things together here and make sure we can give the right attention to everyone that's putting heart and soul into this dream.
That's, yeah, wonderfully said. And I appreciate that. Yeah. So just like you said, yeah, it is exciting. We're moving forward. We're transitioning. I see some of your questions in the chat. I've been trying to answer them as well. Yeah, we like buying parks, guys. And so we've got this fun goal of buying 5 this year, 25 in the next 5 years for sure. So really exciting and fun. Focusing on that is obviously important as well. We do have a community. There's a Facebook page, but most importantly, give Ralph your information. Give him your information. Click on the link, whatever the links are, and register with things. Whatever he tells you to do, he'll make sure you're in the right place. And Heather is awesome. Heather Blankenship, yeah, she knows tons of information. Always looked to her as a pillar in the community. She, of course, has many courses, and you can work with her on those. We're not offering any courses, just so you guys know. We are looking to work with you. Like, you can be a Birddog with us. Primarily, we want to nurture the people that are around us. So Birddogging, getting into it. And I don't know what other skills you might have that could fold into what we're doing. Of course, that happens with just learning each other over time and seeing what's possible. We're always looking for like a good capital raiser, always looking for a good acquisition people, but a good acquisition person needs to understand bird dogging and then understand managing, understand, there's lots of levels of acquisitions, but you can imagine where layers are going to need to go in as we are growing. Or maybe you can't yet, and maybe you don't understand the different things with businesses and the structures and how they might change over time. That's okay too, right? That's okay. Either way is okay. I love businesses. I love putting systems together. The engineer in me, the MBA in me, the architect in me likes to build them like that. You can see it, the vision. But yeah, we'd love to have people around. So clicking these links, submitting a deal to us, heck yeah, and we're following up. That's why we're focusing on everything. The Sub2 community for RV support. What's that? And how about Sub2 community for RV support? I don't know. I love them, Bryce. Absolutely. I mean, Sub2 is awesome. I'm in Sub2. I'm a leader in Ohio in Sub2 now because yeehaw, let's go. Doing it anyway. So let's make some more. And yeah, love Sub2. And there's
One
our buy
thing,
box.
sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you, but for the I missed this on the last part. So for everyone that's new here, and so you don't feel like you're missing what's the next events, we do have everything we do here. We post on YouTube, and this is our YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to subscribe. There's so much information and resources there that I'm pretty sure it's going to keep you busy for the next few weeks to catch up with everything that we. You can look at other deals that we analyzed, how bird dogs get compensated. So it's a series. So from 101 to I think it's 113. So there's quite a bit of information. So don't feel like you're missing out. The information is still there and will still be there in the future.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be doing more things with the podcast too. So it's always nice to pivot little bits, little bits. It's like a facet of a diamond. It's, honing over time. So, yeah, that is also obviously out there for everyone. And follow us on our journey. I'll be sharing that with my little boys, with my wife, all these different places, all the due diligence, all the parks, everything, the operations. You'll be seeing that. I love sharing it. It's just the people that are working with us, of course, will be seeing things a little closer. And so that's the fun too. So yes, that's what we have going on. Expect that out from Ralph. And then here we are, 19 minutes in. Do we have anyone that wants to do an RV park? You'd like to analyze an RV park? Let's get in. Raise your hand if you have something for us to look at. I'd love to tease it apart in whatever way you want. I'm going to ask you what type of analysis are you looking to do. There's, many different layers and levels of it, many different goals that you're trying to achieve. And what are your questions with it? No one's raising their hand. I mean, just general questions about RV parks, anything? Tuesday office hour questions, James. All right. All right. See, well, we'll have to get together on that. If no one else is going to raise a hand, I suppose we can be quick and
Yeah, I guess Yeah, if no one has a deal, I guess I could ask a couple questions about the RV space.
All right, Bryce. Yeah, I like someone who's chatty, not afraid to talk. I was always afraid to talk, by the way. So,
Yeah, so I've been in the real estate game 25 years, land development. We build modular workforce housing communities. I have a couple mobile home parks that we're redeveloping, and just starting to look at the RV space as I see people using that as a way to provide, attainable. I'm careful when I use the word affordable because we're not tax credit developers. We're the missing middle. So we use the word attainable, and so I that's how I'm starting to look at it. I'm seeing folks, utilizing our RV parks to accomplish that goal as well. And so as I start looking at it that way, then I'm looking at the other as a real estate guy or as a business owner and business guy, I'm seeing all the other opportunities that are there. I'm like, man, I'm talking to a lot of these mom and pops, and they're great people, but they're not super sophisticated. And, they're not even doing golf cart rentals. I mean, they're doing nothing, right? They got no debt on it. They've had it for forever from their parents. They're doing well. The books are an interesting thing. We're looking at their books, but, but some questions just like, weddings, like you get like, yeah, like a down season, right? So like when you're not, I'm trying to think. So I like the idea. I like the hybrid. I like the idea of being a housing guy. Like I like the idea of 30% of the park being, housing so that you can cover the operating expenses. But I'm thinking about what are other things I can do in the off season, right? And assuming I've got a good amenity like a lake or just a good package there, wedding venues or are few in many places. And so have you guys had luck, for with weddings, especially in the off season? Because and then the lead, and then I'll let you guys. I've got a lot of questions, so then I'll stop talking. But the on the obviously the higher months are in the spring and summer, right? So you probably don't want to take up space, for a wedding, during those months. So you just basically just look to fill your down weekends on the off season. As you look at weddings as a way to basically increase your income in those down season, and you don't do that in the on season, to not take away from your nightly, pure juice money.
so that's a balance. You're asking a very nuanced question, which is interesting, and I like it, right? Because you're very excited and you're looking around at, like you said, all the other, as a businessman, all the other income possibilities. And of course, 30%, yeah, cover your expenses. So everything else is gravy or frosting, whether you like sweets or salty. And it's just, yeah, you're looking like weddings in general. Weddings, for one, what season you're asking season, it's going to depend on your location, right? For one, it'll depend on your location a lot. But then it's like, well, then do you want to do it off season too? Because it's interesting. And I mean, it's opposite of the demand anyway. So because, you want to have your short terms are going to be there anyway. Do you want more chaos to overlap, or would you balance the chaos with, whatever you're trying to add? For me, I'd rather balance chaos as opposed to compound it, to have everything happen and to have people that are already coming when, 4th of July will get full, like Memorial Day, we're full. So why can we get and work around there? So it's planning strategically, planning with your climate, planning with those other events that typically happen, and then getting it out there. A winter wedding escapade could be very exciting to some, the right people. And if you market it as such and you're built for the infrastructure of all of that, well, then you can get that demographic. So it also is like, are you boutique or are you more, for the masses, that middle market that you're talking about? And then you got to just have more coordination and things can't fall through. You've got to have more backups because, show's got to go on with a wedding. You got to, help for that. Or you just going to be venue and like they handle everything else. So your positioning on all of that is going to matter. But then, yeah, if you're just a place that's being rented, well, that could be a lot better because then you could rent it out to multiple different people that are doing things and they handle everything else. Right. And if you're coming from a workforce housing, anything or anything where it's more of a set and forget anyway, I don't know that you want that type of chaos. But maybe you have ice machines that are on there. So if they need ice for certain things, they've got buckets and buckets of ice they'll pay you for, or anything, little vending machine stuff that they need last minute. Those could be fun. You
Well,
can
I
look at,
thrive. I thrive in chaos because for the last 20 years, I've been the idiot who buys the land, does the entitlements, does the horizontal construction, does the vertical. So I just again, I think if I could put up with that, I can take on a lot, brain damage wise, you know.
I feel
Because
you,
that's also a way to transition out of ground up construction, which is not getting easier. You know, the entitlements are getting harder and harder, and
dude.
yeah, you
We're
know,
going through it right now. I
and
feel you.
and you
Yeah,
sit
by
there and
one
you
too.
sit there and you see the returns, like, well, I don't know if I'm being probably compensated for all the risk I'm taking to
Well,
do this. You know, it's been fun. I've done it. You know, and then you get a little older, you got younger kids. Like, you know what? There's other things in life. You know, I don't need to be chasing that.
right. Yeah. So what attracts you then? What's pulling you towards it right
Yeah,
now then?
for me, you know, obviously, you know, real estate's, you know, supply and demand, right? So, you know, what I like about the mobile home parks is that, you know, to get entitlements for a new mobile home park is very difficult. And it's probably not as difficult for a campground, but it's definitely more difficult than a self-storage, right? And to me, self-storage for me is just too boring. I mean, I love people too much. I need to have a human connection. And so the RV park, I feel like have that moat aspect of it, entitlement wise, right?
Mhm.
Replacement value, right? As a horizontal guy, like I know it actually costs to buy the land and do all that. So for me, I'm seeing things are under replacement value. You know, I'm not seeing as much institutional capital like in the mobile home space. It's just inundated with institutional capital where the cap rates, I mean, they're almost trading like an apartment building. And to me, it's like, dude, like, you know, like fixing the roads. I mean, all this infrastructure in mobile home parks were put like 40, 50 years ago. And it's a lot of these parks, you know, so they're asking for like a, you know, 4 or 5 cap on an infrastructure that needs to completely rebuild, and it makes no sense. And you know, and so I've got 3 right now that I'm going through, and once they're redeveloped, they're fine, right? Once you get, we're doing all new homes, we're getting empty nesters, you know, we're getting just a good retirement community. So that's good, but yeah. So when I see the RV space, and again, I'm not trying to say the grass is greener, right? I mean, obviously there's the there's the people aspect of it, but you know, I just see opportunities. I feel like, and that's probably going to change, right? Institutional capital is not going to let it happen for too long. They're not going to let us make money for too long when they really come in and you see the Wall Street money coming in and try to do what they did to the mobile home space. So I feel like timing's still good. And again, I don't need to have, you know, 52 parks. Like, you know, if I were with a couple, I'd be happy. And it's a way for me to diversify. So.
Yeah, Bryce, you're saying a lot of smart things. You're a smart guy for sure.
I don't know.
Like, I mean,
I paid. Well, all these things I'm saying is because I've lost money and I've, you know, these are like, this is like, you know, being out, you know, on the street doing it. So it's not like, you
yeah,
know, I paid for that.
dude. Yeah, that's where some things are just ingrained and you can just feel them. You know them. It's yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you there. But yeah, I'm tracking with you. You're saying a lot of smart things. That's right. And a lot of people, I don't know if you're catching all these different things because he's using some great words that tell me what's going on, but they're just a little fancier, you know, like institutional capital buying, pushing down cap rates, you know, really low compared to multifamily right now, as opposed to RV parks. It's absolutely true. And so that what that basically boils down to is that there's opportunity in RV parks right now. And literally the grass is greener than a mobile home park. Like, come on. You go
Well,
look
yeah,
at them, you know the grass is greener.
well,
Uh,
it seems like people
it
are having
grows.
fun, right? People, it
Yeah,
looks like
people
people
are
are having
having
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
They make sure their grass is happy.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, no one necessarily cares. Did we cut the grass? Can we scalp the grass so that we don't have to cut it anymore? I remember you guys have done that, I imagine, thinking at some point, less mowing for me. It's like, less mowing. And wasn't level anyway. But yeah, absolutely. All those things are spot on. And yeah, they're gonna come into the space. They're seeing the space. It's a slower adopter, but get in. And there's demand, there's need, and they're gonna still be developing, right? And they'll be buying and buying and buying, and they'll be, if we ever want to exit on what we're doing, they'll pay a decent price for it, which
Well,
is nice.
their ego has to. They first have to put their ego aside, right? Because for a long time, the mobile home space, you know, I remember those guys talking. It's like, oh, I'm not going. Like, oh my God, those trash mobile home parks. You know, those guys.
Well,
That was beneath their egos, and now you know they're all in it. And I think the RV space is the same as well, right? They think it's a bunch of rednecks that are that are campground. You know, we're
well,
not gonna go. We're not gonna go to those people.
possibly, right? I mean, I had my own feelings towards mobile home parks in the beginning, but it's for me, it was always, and that's the reason I don't like multifamily really. It's just, it's not a place that people would tend to, the stuff that I would own is not a place that people would fight to go. Like I wouldn't want to spend a night there with my family and friends for the ones that I would typically end up buying. I'm not buying, A-class properties. I'm buying B minus, something where I can make some money here and there. Maybe I should buy the other ones instead and I'll have more fun, but I still think people want land around them and experience
Well,
nature. And that's
and the
where,
margins are yeah, and the margins are so tight. I mean, in the
yeah,
you get 20
yeah,
you get 20 people going after the same Class C multi-family deal, and it's a cap rate, it's a cap rate play, right? You cross your fingers and you're hoping that cap rates of the next 5 to 10 years work in your favor because the margins, right? I mean, you're trying to you're happy, you're excited if you get another 50, $70 in rent a month, right, on a single unit.
yeah.
I just the margin is so thin, and then you're buying a Class C asset that was built again in the 70s, 60s, and 70s that needs work, right? It's not like it's not like it's a turnkey product that you're buying. And guys, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but in the RV space, you have the advantage where just adding golf carts, right? Like you see these mom and pop, they don't even have golf carts, right? So I can't do that. I can, an apartment building, I can't add another layer of I can't tell the New Jersey, say, listen, I know I just built this 4-story building like 2 years ago. Now I want to put a fifth story on there. Can I go ahead and do that?
You're right. Right. Yeah. You can't do expansion. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You're saying the same things. Yeah. I'm always saying can't do expansion. You can't just add things easily to it in the same way that you can with RV parks. There's so many things. Benefit of multifamily because you get that cap rate. So any little improvement you make times every unit is more money over time that it's worth. It's just simple. It's napkin math. Like it's a no-brainer thinking about it, which is nice. Benefits of short-term renting, you got the control, and so you can get dynamic pricings. You can charge more, real low overhead on RV parks, depending on how you do it. Can be very low overhead, and you can have a dozen different business streams because they're going there on vacation, they're going there, they need convenience. People don't have their car to just pop down to the grocery store, and so they'll buy whatever. They'll pay a little bit more. Sure, it's here right now, and they want experiences. So there's so many ways, and you can expand, especially when you're buying in places where that's in your buy box. So that's part of the thing that's in our buy box is we always want to be able to expand. But all right, I appreciate it, Bryce. I think you and I should chat offline about some stuff, see what possibilities we can do. I think Ralph's sending you my calendar if he hasn't already. But I want to make sure I'm honoring everyone here, do some deal analysis now. We got some hands raised. So I'm going to go through this and see what we can do. We'll chat soon. So Devon. Devon.
It's Devin.
I'm playing
Most
around.
people start off with Devon, and I'm like, nope.
Right on. Well, happy Friday, Devin. What you got going on?
So got a couple of parks up in Montana that I was looking at and
Yeah.
talked to the brokers on them. And the broker said the sellers are open to seller financing on them. They've got one that they've been doing heavy 1031 cash exchange as far as investment on. So they're like, usually with the seller financing part, they're going to want a heavy down to kind of offset the capital gains with the seller financing. But they have both these parks operating. One is seasonal. They said one has the possibility of going year round. I've got they are on market. Trying to see. Do you need me to just drop the OMs in the chat, or
Sure, you could do that. We can certainly go that route. One can. Yeah, and so what are your goals with this? What would you like to get out of this? We want to figure out whether it's a good deal. I get that. What's some of the criteria for the good deal? You're going to look to buy this yourself?
No, right now I'm just trying to wedge in with people on stuff.
Okay.
I actually
Okay.
currently have one RV park under contract that I've wedged in with some other partners of mine on out here in East Tennessee.
Yeah.
That we're buying. So working on going through the due diligence period on that and everything right now.
Okay.
So just try to learn more as far as underwriting and analyzing. I try to keep as far as 50 plus pads and try to get as close to like a 10 cap as possible. Or if there's a way to be able to structure seller finance to be able to take it up to the 10 cap.
Right on. And how'd you get that criteria, curiously?
My partners that I've been working with on this stuff and wedging in on this other one. So
Absolutely. And that's what I just wanted to. I knew you're going to say that because what? You know your goal. You're looking to wedge in with someone. People are wedging in with us all the time. That's the point of helping people Birddog is that they can wedge in with us. So how do you get the buy box? It's the buyer's buy box, right? And so yeah, and that happens to fit our buy box too. Those three things you mentioned, 50 plus pads, 10 caps, seller financing, they're on our buy box. And
yeah,
Montana is in the US right now and it's not California. So, I'm open to it. But yeah,
actually,
so just making a teachable moment out of that if anyone is new here, not knowing everyone's experience. But yeah, it was awesome, Devin. That's great.
it,
Okay. So,
it won't let me drop it in the chat. So
okay.
let me.
Trying to send us a virus. Is that what you're doing? I don't know.
No, I mean it doesn't allow as far as to upload from like my computer because
Okay.
I've got the OMs and the P&Ls from both of them.
Okay. Well, just can we get, yeah, I mean, wouldn't be bad to see them, but can we get some basic numbers even? You could just tell us the numbers and I don't necessarily even, he was trying to upload too. And maybe Ralph at the same time, is there a way that we can open the chat so that people could send a PDF? He can try and look at that while I just grab some numbers off of you.
I just dropped the link for the Crexy for the first one. Let's see.
Got it. So $7 million, 246 days on market. It's been on a while.
Yep.
64 pads, cap rate 6.03% at this price. Does
Yeah.
anyone not know what cap rate is? Otherwise, I'll just move on. It's okay if you don't. It's a very important thing to learn. Pro
So
forma cap. So they're saying that one is 9.58%. It's like, oh my gosh. So if you do everything right. So I don't like how this one looks on the onset. I'll just tell you that. NOI 422, they're asking 7 million for it. And with you already telling me seller finance, but yeah, we really want a big down payment because 1031 exchange. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
They're saying one is seasonal, both are seasonal right now, but one could be all year round. So that's probably part of this pro forma cap rate. So we don't look at that as much now as, oh, it's expansion possible, as icing, it's expansion possible that we have to include in order to pay our debt, which isn't as
So
exciting. It just, my gut reactions with some of these things. But all right. 64 pads on 33 acres. That tells me that it's decently spread out. That's fine. Built in 1992. Yeah. Okay, so that's my first reaction with this one is in my mind, I would tend to set it aside unless they were really looking to do some fancy things with seller financing or there's something else that's
yeah.
really compelling that would make me want to buy here. If I owned other ones I felt good about in Montana, it's more like that. Just I'm trying to take you in the mind of the
Yeah.
buyer for this, or at least our mind of that, my mind of this. But these are things that we think as a company too. All right, do you have the link of the second one?
So,
Yeah.
because of the format of the meeting, I cannot, we cannot allow guests to. It just doesn't have the option to allow. But I sent Devin your email. He can email directly. And Devin, just want to say a couple words. Kudos to you, man. I've been seeing you all over in different calls, different meetings. That's what it takes, right? So being involved and being out. So happy, very happy to have you here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely been a learning curve getting into this stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'm out here in East Tennessee, so I'm hoping this park that we've got under contract right now pulls through. So it's about 45 minutes from my house.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Let's
That
see.
but what we can do, and yeah, we can look at that second one. I can give a real quick
Yeah.
analysis, but then I can also just give you an idea for just run through some quick numbers. Like if you pulled out quick numbers on some of these, like the income expense ratio, what they're doing with employees management, the NOI, more importantly, that NOI, and then we could look at the debt service for that price, and we could see what it would actually make now per month when we buy it. And then you can look at things for the future, income growth, lowering your expense ratio. You'd inject some CapEx, but your NOI would change in the future. What would that be? Multiply that by our cap rate, and we would get our value, and we could look at all of that and figure out what the cost of now money would be, whatever that now money is, and then what that can turn into the future money with that quick pro forma of that. And so that's what we do in our 5-minute analysis, essentially, is we want to do something just along those lines where we analyze it deeply, you'd say deeply, but figuring it out just enough to say, is this worth it or not? Does this move forward or not? But for us, like on the rip, this one isn't passing our 60-second test because of some of those things I said. So we wouldn't even look at it anymore. Wouldn't spend another 60 seconds. That's where we have our hurdles in place. Like, that's why I want to have a 60-second analysis, then a 5-minute, then we move into a 30-minute, and we underwrite in stages. Otherwise, you could spend 30 minutes, an hour, call everyone, spend a day, go visit it. You could do a lot of underwriting just to spend the same amount that we look on the outside and say, no, 60 seconds, that doesn't make sense, right? So that's part of the point of learning different types of underwriting, knowing what your buy box is, because then you can stay away from everything else, because you got to find a lot, got to look through a lot, usually, to get something that's a good deal for you. Let me look at this other Crexy one real quick. And I'm going to just share my screen on this one this time so that you guys can see. All right. So on this one, Nicka Lane from Columbia Falls, Montana, 265, Kinnalicka, Whispering Pines. Great. 4.5 million, 246. So they listed it at the same time. This was the other one, 7 million, 246 days on market. So, oops, I just killed that. Give me that back. Chat right there. All right. So this one, 69 pads, cap rate, even lower than the other one. The other one's 6.03%. This cap rate is 5.71. So basically what it's telling me is it's double what we would want to pay for it, because we want to tend to pay a 10 cap. It's roughly double, a little bit less than double that we'd want to pay for it. And they're saying their pro forma cap rate is 9.1%. This is what I was talking about, and that I was looking at with this one. This previous one, their pro forma was 9.58, and their existing cap rate is 6. So they're really trying to exit for some reason and make a big payday, is what I'm hearing and seeing.
So the couple that owns this, they're older and they just want to turn around and get out because the wife is now coming into health issues, and so they're like, yeah, they just want to wash their hands of it.
Yeah.
The broker did tell me, as far as the first one, he was like, you come in at like 6 mil on it. I don't know how much, that mil difference would do for the cap rate, or as far as being able to do like seller financing, structuring it out to actually make it into an actual attainable for the 10 cap.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could potentially look at some of those things. Here's when I see things that are listed on market, they tend to do this cap rate and then pro forma cap rate. They're trying to do their best as the broker to tell us what's possible. The problem is they usually overestimate. So the fact that we have to take that advice to be like, all right, well, we probably aren't going to get that type of occupancy, whatever you are putting in there, that for our future estimates, they're probably not conservative. They're probably not conservative. Yeah, you might not have thought of everything that we would do, but you're probably trying to think of everything as much as possible, because then you show that it's a good value. So if that's your best guess of what we could do, I'm not excited about that future cap rate. That's their math too. And so like, we know that it'd be a little bit less, but whatever, we get a little cheaper, and then maybe we would actually get that cap rate. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. And Kevin's doing the math, so that's great. I see that in the chat. 6 million is only for the other one to be a 10 cap. This other 7 million, where they were offering 6 million. Yeah, he's saying this would be a 7% cap, but for a 10 cap, you'd have to come in at 4.22 million. That's if you were buying it, however, whatever you look at your cap rates to your different acquisition funding. I like to get a 10 cap and get seller financing with it, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to get the both, the and not just, really overpay for something. But if there's good possibility of expansion where, and I'm talking about cap expansion, cap rate expansion, if there's a good possibility for that, then okay, that's fine. But the fact that they just built this thing in 2020, they might be old, but they were old when they built it. I mean, like, good for them. Good for them. This one was 1992, so this one they owned longer, right? And the
Yeah.
other one they built.
So the first one has like an additional 17 acres that can be expanded out into.
Yeah.
They were saying, yeah, this one, the Hungry Horse one, or wait, is that, or no, I think it's the Whispering Pines one, was pretty much at full as far as not really being able to expand out any further. But they've just been operating these parks as seasonal.
Mm.
But the Whispering Pines ones, they said you could possibly look at actually setting up and running year round. They said they had actually put out feelers. They put out feelers seeing, who would actually want to be up there year round. And the broker said they had like a waiting list of about 100 people that said, hey, we want to stay here year round.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, but the fact that it's still that NOI that they're telling us and that cap rate as being the best, that has me concerned. So let's see. So for $6 million purchase amount, down payment 0. Oh my gosh, what a stupid calculator. This is the market. Like, yeah, it's interesting. So I had to Google mortgage calculator, I guess, whatever. US Bank came up. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. And I put 6 million in. They say enter purchase amount that's $2 million or less. It's like, okay, well, shucks, that's useless. Right. This is for single family homes. That's fine. I thought it would be easy. I'd be like, oh, just Google a mortgage calculator, guys. It's not easy. Everything with RV parks, it's nuanced, it's these things. And I just can't find my phone. I think I left it in the other room. I usually just do it on my phone, on my app. But anyway, I don't think there's enough money to pay your debt service. I'm just going to tell you there's not enough money to pay your debt service right now. And here's how I know. I know without doing any calculation. And I mean, for one, it's, you get a gut. But for two, what interest rate are we paying right now? Whether it's 7% or 10%, if 7%, if it's like a DSCR type of loan, we're going to have to put 30% down to show that. And we could figure something out, but it's 7%. Right, that you might pay for the interest rate and everything. And if you're doing some type of construction, maybe you need short-term funding, it's more development funding, bridge lending, that's going to be more like 10% plus points and all of that. 10%, 7%. Either of those are higher than the cap rate of 6%. In the chat, Kevin did the math and said, oh, 6 million they'll do. Or Devin, you were saying 6 million they'll do. Kevin did the math, and that's a 7% cap that we're buying it at. Well, if there was no fees, if there were no points, you didn't pay the broker, if you didn't have a closing attorney to make sure everything is right, there were no insurance on in closing, and it was just the 6 million that you would have to pay, you still wouldn't be able to pay your debt service every month with the NOI that it's showing right now. You would be in the hole, you'd be in the black, or you'd be in the red, whatever. You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. So you want to be on the other side of it is the point. So that's just some quick reasons why we have the cap rate we need it higher so that we don't have to worry about that debt service every month. If people, sometimes in people's buy box, they'll say, hey, I want an extra $12,000 after, an NOI and debt service. Okay, so $12,000 a month. This one, without doing the math that I was trying to do real quick there, you're losing money every month. And it's going to cost you money to do it. You're going to have to put money in so that you can lose money every month on this at that price rate, unless you do some of these other things. But to do these other things, you got to inject a little bit more. I'm just saying that's not a great deal. And so until they're willing to move down. And if you try to do some seller financing where you defer, even if you didn't make any payments towards them and you just deferred a portion of that, you're basically giving them all your hard work in the future, the appreciation that's going to happen to it. You're giving that to them for the opportunity to take a chance on it. My gut reaction was to swear at that, but like, F that. That is not what I want to do. So for me, that's not a good deal. That's my long explanation. I'm sorry, everyone. Maybe that was helpful, but my long explanation, you're welcome for the other ones that found it helpful, of our 60-second analysis that says, no good. Move on. But that's what I want to show to everyone. And just so you know, I mean, there's 10 caps that are out there, 11 caps that are out there with operational things that you can do, with expansion that you can do on them. They're out there. So these ones aren't really jazzing me. Yeah, we'd have to buy them at a ridiculously low rate. And that's part of the problem that I've seen with anything that's on market right now, is it either goes fast, it goes before it hits the market, like pocket listings, like before they even list it, they make an agreement and then boom, it's gone. And then off-market deals, just working directly with people and having those conversations. So hopefully that was helpful, Devin, because it's two more on your way of no's of finding your yes for a good one. It's the way I look at everything, right? And it's just honing your quick analysis so that you can get towards other ones. And that's what we're doing with anyone that is submitting deals with us, that is moving forward with us, and part of our team that wants to wedge in on things and do fun stuff is, we'll help nurture you, teach you those things. So it's just the market itself shifts over time of where the best place is to acquire properties. It just shifts. It does. So, and right now, on market deals, not so great. They're just not so great. They're just harder. I mean, and think of the best way to do it you'd scrape all the data. You'd use AI to alert you instantly to something that comes along. You would, act on it right then. And you would go and take all the main brokers out and meet them, like make sure you're in alignment and so you can get pocket deals from them. That's how you would do essentially on market listings, right? If that's your path. There's so many paths that you can go down to find properties. We have to find one that's in alignment with your superpower or your team's superpower if you've got a team, right? But individually, your superpower. That's the best way.
How many times do you usually find, as far as, just going in and, like Kevin was saying, setting out an offer as far as what would meet your price criteria and just saying, hey, here's what we'd actually offer on this, and, have them, because I know that, a lot of people say the goal's in the follow-up.
It is. And you'll realize that you want to minimize that effort for that follow-up as much as possible, because I mean, to have them drop price 40% on it doesn't seem realistic. And to have it just, and for there to be more value or something, but I mean, interest rates are going to be coming down, so things will get more competitive, but that's all the crazy thing. Unless something else was screaming to you about this, or you had just easy automatic follow-up systems, I would say pass. But it's all possible. I don't like to just send LOIs out. Because a lot of times I'm the one that has to send them out, right? Because I like the nuanced thing. I like talking to people, and you talk to them and you figure it out on the phone and say, I'm going to send you an LOI like we just talked about. Cool. They say yes. They know to see it, find it, accept it. You don't have to make 3. You just make 1. And then they say, oh no, this line isn't good. That one, I thought we were talking a closer due diligence, shorter close, whatever. They never give us more money, but they always want, little things to nitpick, but that's fine. Let's nitpicking. We're talking, we're in agreement. And then, okay, now we're locked up for 7 business days where they can't get into contract with anyone else. Soft agreement. Because how enforceable is anything but gentleman's agreement, ladies' agreement, person's agreement, whatever. Huzzah. So, and I prefer to work like that. Time well spent and feel it all out. And because you're going to be working closely with the seller as you move towards close anyway. So it's an opportunity to make another great relationship and make them feel good and do that. And if we're just doing it very transactional, like bump, 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 send these out. What do you want? Right. Oh, that's one. Oh, well, bump, bump, bump. How about these ones, little ones, and all of that. And then it just becomes so we're on opposite sides of the table clearly at that point. And I would rather scoot, scoot, scoot. So we're on the same side of the table so that he can tell us, for one, my due diligence will be easier. Tell us everything that's wrong. Just tell us now. It's easier. Right. We'll look through too, but just make open communication and happiness as we move forward easier, more fun. I want that versus just, cold emails going out all the time. So it's not fun. It's possible. You can do it. For me, it's not in alignment with what I like, how I want to.
What I was meaning as far as not just blindly blasting out LOIs, but saying, okay, after you've had the initial conversation with the broker and said, hey, okay, after I've gotten the P&Ls and assessed everything, here's where we're at. And this is where we would need to be able to start the process, should you guys want to circle back.
And so I'm going to say that, yes, do it. You can do that because what that's doing is it's informing the broker. It's going to then inform the seller. It turn into something, and it hones your offers that you're making. You can do it, but I just for me, I'm always trying to limit how many I do. But it's a good follow up as opposed to just not saying anything to the broker. Number one, right? You want to communicate, and you can say this is where we are. So I usually will just mention it on the phone and say, this is where we are. Just have that conversation or talk about this. You think they'd be open to this type of structure for seller financing? And then if they're like, yeah, they would, submit it and we'll do whatever, then sure. Now it's on you to submit it. And maybe they're cold and they don't tell you a lot and maybe you really want it for some reason. You can always submit it and you're going to get something that happens from that. Yeah. You will, right? They'll tell you that this one's closer. This one would be great. Just bring it back up to the 6 million that we talked about. You've heard all those things before, right? Yeah. And so whatever. But yeah, it's definitely the next steps that you would do if there was a deal there. So it's great to go through those steps so that you feel confident when you really do have a deal there. You've done it before. It's not your first time doing that. That's very important. So yeah, you could do that. It's a good exercise. I just don't like doing that anymore. I don't want to do those reps anymore. But it's good to do. It. Anyway, yeah. Let's get a deal together, man. Wedge in. Let's go. We're down. Yeah. Monica, what's up?
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? Bopping around. Where are you right now?
Well, currently I'm at my parents' property in Acton, California, but I'm moving to Palm Springs tomorrow.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yes.
Fun.
Always somewhere fun.
California.
I'd rather not be in California, but whatever. It is where we are now. We'll move soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I have a park I got from a Birddog. It is on Cruxy. Let me send you the list. And the Birddog is talking to the broker, and he said he's gotten it down to 3 million. But I have 2 questions about it. I just wanted to kind of go over it because, I'm trying to learn. So I'm looking at them and just trying to see where's the good and the bad. But also I wanted to know, because this one has the wastewater treatment plant, and I know a lot of people don't like that. So I want to know your thoughts on it. Is it a total deal breaker or...
Year built 1977. It's probably an older wastewater treatment plant.
I think they said they put new stuff in. Let me see. Where was it?
As long as it has new stuff, we'll take it.
Yeah, they got newly installed custom molded fiberglass waterless tanks, electrical upgrade. And I know they just did an expansion. Let's see, what did it say? I did ask about that, and everything has been, and they keep up with it twice a year. I think they pay $1,400 to get it serviced. But yeah, so I want to know your thoughts on how I go about that, or if it even looks decent enough to even.
You looking to Birddog this one because you got it from a Birddog? You looking to
well, I was just looking at it to learn and stuff, but yeah, I would keep it if it was a good deal,
All right, so Arizona, yeah, so. And I can have Kevin chime in if he wants,
Sure.
And about some of the things with the wastewater treatment plants, but it's a nuance. I mean, it's something you'll end up learning a lot more about wastewater than you probably know, which is fine, right? Which is perfectly fine. It's I'm going to all those jokes. But yeah, I mean, there are some nuances. There's some bad systems. We've heard from some of our development advisors. They really don't like, they see failures in these other ones. They have issues with them. So it's going to be something you're going to want to learn about quickly and make sure that you're going to want an expert as you're moving forward.
Right.
With it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like saying, hey, Kevin, let's talk about wastewater, because his ears perk up when we talk about wastewater, which is, perfect for this situation. So what's up, Kevin?
So, I mean, it varies by state to state, but there's different grades of technicians that need to look at the wastewater treatment plants, take samples, send them to the state, and even that varies based on the size of the plant. So essentially what you want to do is, since it's already in operation, you want to get from them what is all the maintenance requirements. What technician level is required, because some of these levels you can go to like a class for like a week and you're qualified. And that could be you just send your manager and then whatever. Other ones you have to go to college and like it's a real no shit, type
Wow.
of certification for it. So you need to find out what level technician is required, the frequency it's required. You have to send in water samples. What are the fines if it's out of service? What is their backup plan if your wastewater treatment plant goes down for whatever reason? Do you have because there's temporary ones that can be brought in on like just a Connex box that can be put down. You just hook it up to that, and then it's temporary. You just what you fix it. But the biggest thing that people don't like about the wastewater treatment plants is if you send in the water sample and it is out of spec. Um, you have like a little bit of time to fix it to get it back within spec, but sometimes the states are so slow at processing it that by the time you send in your third sample, that's your third failure, and then you get big fines. So just finding out all the information of how often you have to submit, because it's in operation for a time, you're probably at the stage where you only have to do it twice a year. When you first start off, it's like every month. So if you're doing twice a year and you don't have to do a lot of maintenance, it's like a low-level technician, then there's really not that much maintenance with the wastewater treatment plant. You just gotta look at the cost of like the filter changes and the technicians and what kind of monitoring there is. Like, is there remote monitoring or is there someone on site that does it? So just find out all the little things with it that are going to be the cost and the maintenance of it, and then you can make your decision from there, because one wastewater treatment plant is not like the other.
Right. And when we were on our trip and we were visiting RV parks, we went to one in, I think it was in Arkansas, and they had one, and she said it's a pain. The manager, they weren't selling or anything, but they were just giving us tips and tricks and giving us a tour of the park. And she said it was a pain. They were hoping to get city water, hook up to the city within the next year or so, but she said, it's doable. She's like, we live on site, so we check it all the time. We have to do this and that, blah, 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 whatever. It's just a pain. So I was like, oh, so it doesn't sound like it's a total deal breaker. It's just one of those nuances you have to deal with.
Yeah, like I
we do
said,
have it.
it's they probably still have to do the water checking of it. It's hitting the water sample, which
Yeah,
you can hire someone to do or have your manager do if it depending on the level that it is.
yeah.
And there's like 5 different major wastewater treatment plant types that are out there. So the type of system they have may be, very complex and, requires all that stuff. I've seen some out there that are almost zero maintenance. I've seen some
Yeah.
that are very high, like remote operation thing where the technician that checks it doesn't even need to do a water sample. They just check everything online and they can send that sample in
Oh, wow.
from online checking. So there's different complexities to it. There's different types of how they're set up. I mean, like I said, one wastewater treatment plant system is not like the other. So the one they have could be a real pain, but the one that you're looking at this park might not
Yeah.
be. So
Okay.
you need to really just work with the owners and find out, hey, tell me exactly like everything that has to be done with this as far as maintenance and operation of it, and then you can make your decision from there.
Okay. Thank you. That is very helpful.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is the person to talk to about poo water for sure. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh,
And
effluent. There's Zach. Effluent.
that's right, effluent. Yeah, and it turns into drinkable effluent us on the other side sometimes, which is wonderful. Also wonderful. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this park and I'll just share this quickly some other things. Besides that whole wormhole that you're going to go down for sure. You're going to learn about effluent and everything. Um, 62 pads, okay. Cap rate 8.29 low. Year built acreage. So yeah, it's this ratio of 10 acres. There's not much there to do any expansion that's on this. And that's part of what I see is that there's not a lot of any
They
type
said
of,
there's room for about 8 to 10 more pads, or they just
yeah.
brought in
That's
three.
not so substantial though. I would like
Right.
to have at least another 50% that I add of the pads, or gosh, even ability to add 100% in the future.
Yeah.
So like do it in stages. That would be the type of expansion potential that just, that would be great. So as everyone's looking,
And
that's
they even
something.
have like a tent area where they have 6 tents, which they brought in 3 pod cabins, which I don't have financials on it yet because they just brought them in. But if those were something that, you can put in the tent areas rather than have tents, because nobody wants to sleep in a tent in Phoenix.
I don't like tents in general. I mean, like, and in
Yeah.
an RV parks, I've tent camped before, but like
Yeah.
we want a little bit of structure around us, ideally. We're
Yeah.
not doing primitive camping. So yeah, not so excited about all of that. Their expense ratio, it's weird that they say underwritten. It's like, well, it's not the actual, so that it's just a
Yeah.
little red flag to me. It's like, well, what is it then? But yeah, and like Bryce was saying in the chat, I think he was talking about, yeah, you got to make sure you got to maintain this pool and everything that's there. It's this little oasis, this little pool that's in the middle of this chunk of uh,
Yeah.
stuff that's there. This is a good picture of what it is. So I don't know. Yeah, and the fact that there's not a room for expansion, it's not buying it at a wonderful one, it's not enticing me in the moment. There's nothing that's stacking variables, except I like that it's Arizona around Phoenix area. Uh,
Hmm.
Closer to Sedona. It's working there. It's working there. We'll get there. Yeah. So that's what I see offhand. And yeah, you're going to become a poop expert. Or you need to become a poop expert. Yeah. But we've got Kevin. So that's great. Hi, Tam. What's up?
Hi.
Hey. Hey there.
It's a long time no see. Well, I think it was November, I think. Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland. Well,
Yeah.
oh no, December
Oh yeah,
20th.
December. That's right.
December
That's right.
20th. Yeah. Cold.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
What's
um,
going on?
hey, I tried getting in touch with you after that. I had a pretty substantial park. I wanted you to, I thought something you might have been interested in.
Hmm.
Did you get my text?
Oh, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check. I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't see anything about that. So we'll have to check. That's a good segue, Ralph. Can you drop that link to the submitted deal again? Yeah, thank you. And so, Tam, this is the best way, whatever he just put in the chat to submit a deal, because there's urgency with deals and things, right? And it's there in general. We like to create these systems that are around all of that so that things don't fall through the cracks and we can respect everyone's time. And yeah, it's been a busy, busy, busy season of getting things going and having these events. And that's one of the reasons why we're shifting them. So it's a good segue to get back into that, how we're shifting them to anyone that ends up joining us here on our team, and Ralph will send things out. But yeah, so is the deal still active? What's the deal?
It got taken, but
Okay.
that same person had told me about another one that he's selling. I don't, it's just a private sale.
Yep.
Um,
Like
so
those.
there's a lot of potential with it. Okay, so where to start?
And you got some details about it? Okay,
I
cool.
do. I don't have like any P&L and L and stuff like that because he
That's
took it
fine.
over.
Yeah.
And he went in, it only had like 5 to begin with, and he went in, bought it, and turned it into more. So it's about 35 pads now.
Okay.
Um, so here's what I got for that. Because I talked to him yesterday, and I've been talking to him. But
What's your goal with this? Is it to bird dog wedge, something like that?
I'm open. Like if
to
somebody
buy
wants,
it
yeah,
yourself?
partner with. I love collaborating with people. I get much more joy out of collaborating than doing stuff on my own. I mean,
Yeah.
I can do stuff on my own. I have no problem doing that. But I love to collaborate. So it brings me a
Yeah,
lot of
me
joy
too.
to work with
Yeah.
people.
Cool.
Okay, so there's 30 new hookups. All the septic, water, everything's already in place. The I can't think of the name of those meters, but they're run by Wi-Fi. It starts with a W. Wild, what was?
Energy.
Yeah, something like
Yep.
that. I have it here in my email. I should probably instead of quit
Yep.
stumbling over my words. Let me see here. I
Oh,
can.
no, that's fine. So they're full hookup water, septic, electric sites that
Yeah.
went to 35 of them. What is the purchase price? Like, what are you guys talking about with purchase price?
Okay, so and he's around 650, but he said he would consider a creative deal and probably maybe taking less. He said that there are I've got the email pulled up here. Yes, Wild Energy remote read meter.
Mhm.
Um,
So 65K is, do you have any like NOI data? Does he give you that? Anything
it's
like that?
it's newer, so no. And the
It,
reason he's selling it is because he has some other projects that he's working on, and he just doesn't have time for this one now. He said this is a for industrial purposes. This he's already got some long-term tenants there. Um,
okay. What state
and
is this in?
dare I say out loud,
What?
can I get on your calendar?
Yeah, I mean, just the state. I don't think people would be able to find it. Is it
Oh,
off market? Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to.
Uh,
I was just thinking to see like what different laws and everything would apply.
yeah. Could I get on your calendar and we can maybe have a more of a chat?
Yeah, we can talk about it, but I will tell you this, like this wouldn't be a park for us already, from what I've
Okay.
heard. Simply because it's 35 pads. Our minimum is 50 pads that we really need. Otherwise, it's a headache. Someone has to manage that locally, and the expenses don't really cover it. That's why we have that hurdle. And that's probably why he doesn't want it. He's reason selling other projects. He's like, yeah, this is going to be a whole project to manage. He built it all up. He expanded from 5 to 35. And then he's like, oh my gosh, now this has to be managed, but there's not enough to like pay someone enough to do that. He's putting his sweat equity in there right now. That's my gut of what's happening, but that's where like the 35, it wouldn't be a good fit for us. We can't get management easily within that. Uh, so that would become a job. We'd rather 350 than 35, frankly. If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
Um, but like even, triple that would be great. So 105, that would be great. Um, but yeah, I mean, but if you were looking for someone else, is there anyone here that would potentially want this deal? Because I could help analyze it for you. If you wanted to buy it, we could look over some things and then we could connect things and you could work with Tam and potentially look at that. Elizabeth is saying, what state? Yeah, see, it's one of the next things we need to know.
I
What state is it in? You think someone's going to find it in the whole state?
know. Maybe.
Oh, man.
I
Oh,
send
man.
love to all of you, but and then he's traveling today. He invited me. He said, "Hey, if you have someone that myself or me and someone, if we kind of want to hop on a call with him, he's driving today in the car. So, there's kind of that option if somebody want to hop on a call with me and talk with him, there's that option. He's a very friendly fellow.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's ready to move forward. That's fine. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, Tam. I'm trying to find you the person that's most motivated to talk to the seller in this. Because certain people only are going to buy in certain states with their buy box. They should have an exclusion of something. And so everyone's just trying to not waste their time, waste your time and go from there. That's all. No
out,
one's like, even Liz, she's like, I'm not looking to take it from you. No one's looking to take anything.
yeah.
Uh,
And I don't
we're
mean to not, I feel bad saying that. Okay, so it's Alabama.
okay. That's fine. Okay, so Alabama. Anyone would buy it in Alabama?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Bama, bama, bama.
Anyone interested in a 35er in Alabama? Boom, boom, boom. What the cost per pad is about 20 grand. Looking at that, 35 pads to 650. So that's not bad. That's low. That's a low cost per pad,
Yeah.
especially if he's willing to accept less, open to seller financing. I mean, like, so there's juicy, fun stuff here to manipulate, play with, and make into a deal. It just wouldn't be a deal for us. That's why I want to see if there's anyone that would want this as a deal. Otherwise, I would say, Tam, one of the things is definitely want to work with a buyer and work backwards, because then here's the buy box. This is what they'll buy, working. So now we know Amber wants Northern Arizona only. See, how specific is that? Not even like, any couple states. It's not even the whole state. But I laugh, but it's wonderful that Amber knows that, because then she can exclude anything else that's not in there. We need that. Buy box is an awesome place to start. And so while we can go out and just find deals in general, it's a little taking more risk. It's a little, your time might be not well spent, because if you don't find a buyer for that, well, then it's time not well spent. I mean, you can learn,
Right.
but wouldn't it be great if you're doing that and making the money? And so that's what we're looking to do with anyone that's close to us in our team here moving forward, wedging into stuff that we're doing, bird dogging for us, growing, learning, who knows? We'll learn everything that you can do. I know Greg mentioned some things that he was managing some people before, and just an experience by working with people. We know how people can be, and we have to find that great mesh for everything that's going on. So yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun of what we have coming up here.
Yeah, and there's, I'm not on purpose, but I'm online. I'm seeing an increasing amount of I don't know why I'm sure there's guys out there too, but what came across my path is this a gal had posted out online like, hey, are there any gals out there that are like widowed or, empty nesters or single? And I'd like to have a community of people, of gals, where we all live in our own homes. But we have a acreage where we can maybe do a garden, and we have our own dwelling, so we have our own space, but we have this community of people. And so everyone was like, yeah, me, me, me. I mean, it was like hundreds of people responded to this lady. And so there's a need to fulfill that for lots of people.
Yeah.
And so, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, well, maybe this particular place could be a purpose for that. I don't know. And then there's industrial things close by to this park, so that's why there's already like some long-term tenants in place. And the owner, he said, and I said, well, how did you get those occupants? He said, honestly, I went to that like a specific industrial park building, and he put a sign out, and he got all these people, the occupants that he has now long term, they just based on the sign. And they came to him, called him or whatever, and they booked their spot, and they're there like year round. So he said it wouldn't be hard to, fill this up more if you wanted to. And he said the way it's set up, there's kind of like the long-term occupants. He said if you wanted on the other side of the park, you could put, I had told him about my idea about with, the gals and all that kind of stuff. There's a demand for this. He said you could put that maybe on the other side of the park, or if you want to do like Airbnbs, there's a place to do that on the other side of the park. So yeah.
So let me unpack a couple things that you said, because then it got interesting for me in the end, in a funny way. But so because there's some wonderful things that you said, and then there's a big old problem that I see. But so okay, first thing that you ended up saying, this gal's place, anything where you find a specific type of person that wants to live in a community, like that's wonderful, and they exist out there. There's families that want to do that, or like a homeschooling, like working together type of community. There's gals, there's guys, there's everything in between. In architecture, we were always taught one of the many things is just build it for a specific type of person. Whatever you're doing, design it, build it for that person, and it will attract the person. It'll be wonderful for that person, and it'll be just like a match made in heaven type of thing. You won't have to worry about the marketing. It's a right fit for that person. People know, like I obviously would not go to there or apply or to anything, and because I'm not a gal and I'm not single, right? And I've got a family. So you take a niche, because if you make a church for everyone, nobody goes. It's not the same as a church for a very specific someone type of people. We believe this way. We want to do these things. Now people know where to go. They go there. It's the same type of principle with business, with everything. Now, to my next point. So that would be entirely possible. And you're doing an owner type of model versus a renting type of model in that situation, right? Because everyone would probably buy their own unit and be part of this community. Like, hey, let's go in on this together. And then we're doing this together. And so you'd fund it in that way. And that would all make sense. And that's entirely possible. So you could potentially bring this to them. But again, I would get their buy box first of, the group that's looking to potentially put gals together, wherever they're thinking of doing that. The part of the problem with this, and the next good thing actually, is that he advertised well to the local industrial people, long term for the industrial people. That was done really well, because you go right to the place. They have a need. It's like putting for student housing, you put it right on those community boards back in the day, right? Wherever everyone is going already, and they can talk about something when they're sitting and having coffee and whatever it is, that's the place to put it. They'll dwell there. They'll see it. They have a need. It's a perfect match. But it's going to be almost like a race to the bottom in price, because it's got to be probably affordable housing if it's for industrial people that are guys or whomever. They usually don't care about much. They're working and then sleeping, right? It could be. And that's the problem with some of these just the situation with some of these temporary construction places. They're there to work, yeah, they want to have fun, but they're going to be gone when the construction, the project could be done, or like, oil rigs, anything like that, something to think about. Now, the problem that I see is trying to match girls on one side and then long-term industrial people on the other side. That sounds absolutely insane. You're going to have problems with the long-term tenants and all of that. I mean, they're all long-term right at that point. So that doesn't seem like a great fit, even if there's separation on the same site, and there's not going to be much separation on this site. Right. It has to be, both of those are very discrete. That's like an oil and water situation that wouldn't mix. So you have to think about that when you're looking at your plans for the future. You choose in that scenario. For me, it would be choosing. You would not put them together at all. But yeah, that is a possibility if for that team that's looking to do that group of gals, it wouldn't need to be 50 or 100. And so it's an opportunity, and that 35 feels like that could work. That's a good fit of people to help everything all work out. And so there's less of us that are looking to buy those. So there's more of an opportunity to get a good deal and for it to be a great fit with that type of scenario. So for me, that's much more exciting to go down that path of them being a buyer for that, because I bet they would be at those numbers.
And they're not even investors. I just kind of saw it online where this one gal said, "Hey, is anybody looking for this? I'd like to do this." They
want to live there. So that's why I'm saying they're owner occupants. So at $20,000 a site without even negotiating, and you can get creative terms on it. Well, yeah, that's viable. That's extremely viable. And that's meeting the needs of what I assume part of their buy box would be. Now, I don't know the rest of the details about this in Alabama, if they want Alabama or anything that's around it, whatever their buy box is, but there's a situation where that would fit potentially, that scenario. Or you just keep it with the like long-term industrial people and you do that. But again, that doesn't work well for us. There's a management layer expense that's difficult in there. You're not extracting as much money to increase the rents. It's long-term. So it's more like mobile home parks. So it's just the cap rate is a little more compressed. There's not much juice on that squeeze. I don't know. I'm going to say it a bunch of different ways, but yeah. But yeah, opportunities. So interesting one. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone, walking through those nuances with that. I guess, Aaron, I'll take your question, man. And then out of respect, I mean, anyone, if you want to bounce, I totally understand. We usually just went to noon, but here we are just chatting because this will be the last one of these for a while. So why not?
Today's the last one for Friday.
Yes, last run for a while. I don't know if you, yeah, popped in here, but we're so busy with everything that's going on that we need to focus on our internal teams, the people that are bringing us leads. So Ralph was going to be reaching out to everyone, sending an email, and there'll be some opportunity in there to do some with us. Again, we don't charge anything. We're just looking to find good people and leads for what we're doing, and people that want to wedge into what we're doing and join the journey of fun.
Well,
But
two things for you. I just sent you a text to when you get a minute, check to see if you got that because I know we traded numbers. And then the tiny homes, you remember we talked about that? My friend
yes,
has a tiny home company, and you were maybe wanting to take a look at that.
yes.
Yeah. So again, maybe I could hop on your calendar and we can talk about that.
So Kevin is like our tiny home, in-house tiny home expert, like everything else. So he just flew, the owner of one tiny home just flew Kevin out to his manufacturing operation. So Kevin looked at that firsthand. You know, we're looking at lots of different typologies for that. Go to Glamping Shows America and we see lots of things there. So yeah, there is some possibility. Kevin would be a great one for that. And I rightly don't have my phone on me. That's why I didn't have my mortgage calculator right now. And I guess my watch isn't doing something. I don't see a text yet, but I'm sure I'll see it. And yeah, we'll chat and move forward.
Okay. Are you
Cool.
talking about Kevin Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he'll probably say something here in the chat too.
Yeah. Kevin, you want to put
He was the one that's talking. Poop and tiny home expert. There we go. Just scroll to the bottom. Yeah, Kevin / poop and tiny home expert.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Tiny poop and home
I
expert.
just posted the resources, the link for the resources that we provide at no cost to everyone to help you guys organize and go through everything. Everyone that downloads it, it's on our database, so everyone, we know they're looking to actively buy a part. So you will, if you download it, you will be contacted for sure through that. So, and everybody here, Devin, that's for you as well. So you have tons of parts going on. That's a good way to just knock things out and keep moving as fast as you can, and moving from the 5 to the 30-minute analysis.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate that. Awesome. Well, great to see you again, Tam. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll look at some more leads you have going on too. Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Ralph. Thank you so much for posting that. I got on that tool last week and it's amazing. Lots of stuff in there. So as I'm educating myself in this RV space and kind of narrowing down what type of park I would be looking at, I'm noticing like the more transient parks, there's just so much more day-to-day management going on and operations.
Sure are.
How do you handle that remotely?
It's an and. I mean, you're going to have local managers that are great and good systems and oversight on them if you're doing it remotely.
Is that a pretty big lift to get all that set up? I guess it depends on how it's set up already.
So it depends what's in place and what are you trying to attract that's in place right now? What's in for your buy box? Do you want there to be good operations, good management? They're all going to continue on, or do you feel like you would want to take on a project where you would hire people? You'd want to attract the right people and then put those processes in place because there could not be them potentially, right? They might not be there. So which of those two feels more comfortable to you and possible? Light.
Ideally, something with less capex going into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
so if you were just coming in and you had to do it, maybe this is what you're saying. You're just doing an operational value add for the most part. Like they just had no operations. Mom and pop did it, but they've already done things that are fixed up. You don't really need to add a lot of capex to it. Maybe it's just like, marketing stuff and branding and website and, some systems and say, okay, come here. And you might say, hey, we need some more fun places for people to dwell. Let's let them fish here. Let's let them play here, different games, give them some experience that can be managed remotely and you can craft it where it's not so much effort, right? And it has to match your demographic, of course, that's there. But that's always possible. And you're just saying you'd rather have that operational lift happening without any type of capex, meaning maybe it means construction, maybe it means just expenditure of money. or
Right,
both?
right. Yeah, and I'm kind of more concerned, I guess, about if it's a mom and pop run establishment and they're trying to exit completely, how do you bring in a new management that's going to operate the park?
You can advertise for it, but I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, there's a bunch of different places to advertise if that's what you're talking about, but you
Yeah.
would have to, yeah, get someone. I mean, you can go on, any of those websites for jobs like Indeed. You can put that out there. There are some people that are looking for it. There's websites, there's Facebook groups that are for, if you're trying to get, it depends. Work camper, like what's your balance of employees? Work campers, do you want a manager? Kind of depends on how much income is in there too. What size of this transient park that you have. Um, and then,
So
yeah,
that's a
obviously.
thing where people are looking for those type of jobs.
Yes, yes. And so
Okay.
people are, they're looking there to live there. They're people that just like it. They are out there. And that's the other aspect is, do you put all that management in place that's local and like that? Or you're going to put some type of management in place because you're going to be remote and you're going to be part of that management, or you're not even going to be part of that management. Maybe there's someone on your team, someone else that's going to manage the managers and all of that. But the whole structure you want to really think about, because you can have property management companies too. You can pay them across the country. They'll manage it. It's a relative cost either way, your time, the money from it. So it depends park to park, but it is going to have an expense. And that's one of the reasons why for us, we're looking for just more pads, because there's more juice in there that can go towards that expense. And we're going to look to reduce expenses in other ways, but um, you gotta factor that in. And then how often are you looking over all of that? How long are you going there? Are you relying on everyone else's eyes? I wouldn't. I would rely on your own eyes at some point too. I mean, I'm a, show me thing, but then I'm also going to look uh, at what anyone's doing and check. So there's going to be some involvement is the point
Sure.
of it. And it's that balance of, do you want to go and hire people? Have you learned that? Do you desire to do that? Filtering through the right people, the wrong people, putting systems and processes in place. Because if it's a mom and pop, they probably don't. It's like, this is just how I've been doing it. Ready? Get your notebook.
Right.
Like, here we go. Here's the code to this gate. We walk down here, we take the left and we go down into here, and you got the keys hidden right under here. I mean, it can be that crazy, but to make it, in my mind, a well-oiled machine, the engineer, the architect in me need to have systems and processes, and then you can track when something goes wrong, and there's accountability and there's layers. It's just, if you haven't put that together, it's a whole different conversation that we could have. And I enjoy it and thinking about that with any business that's needed. But it is something that's going to be needed one way or another. You need to have those checks and balances in place, a regular set of accountability and meetings to manage whoever is there. Otherwise, they're not going to be thinking, they're not going to know what's in your head. So they're just going to do
Yeah.
what's in their head, and without any guidance. And if it's my investment, I need my head wrapped around it all and to feel confident in those decisions. So, but it's all
Awesome.
possible. Yeah, it's all possible.
Well, it's
It's
good.
just, it's a nuance.
Yeah, it's good to know that exists, because I keep thinking about, well, I've got to find somebody that's already in the park that knows the park and try and offer them like a space rent for free, and
So like you
train
can,
them,
like
and
that's
I
a
don't.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. I was just going to say that's another option. I mean, you can find someone there, but what's the chance that you've talked to all the people, and the one that wants to, why do they want to? Because maybe they don't want to pay their rent, but do they really have the qualifications to do it to what you want?
Right.
Probably not. You're going to take
That's
them out of convenience, and then you're going to have issues, and you're going to say, this sucks. And like, man, I should really put more systems in place. I thought they were going to make these. And then it's just figure out what you want, what you need in these roles, and then attract that towards you. That's going to be your
it.
best bet. This Band-Aid could work in the interim, but I would frame it as like an interim, a trial, something like that. And you can use a test bed like, oh, I'll train you and write down what I say because, maybe they're good at writing those things down. But build towards having to hire someone in the future, because no matter who is your person, you have to plan on being able to hire a new person in the future. Because what if they die?
Right.
What if anything happens? You're a business, the show must go on. You got to have backup plans and backup plans to those backup plans if you want to be able to just really be remote and know that this is going to be good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's fun and all that's possible though, right? And so, yeah, stick around. I love all of this and talking about this.
And I'm
Yes.
bummed that this is closing off because I just got started hanging out with you guys.
So don't be bummed, right? Ralph said it's excitement. I don't know, Ralph, maybe you'll have to say it again, but it's excitement because everyone that is doing stuff with us, when he sends this out, the people that we're working with and stuff, we can get closer. I just don't want to make it always open. So if anything, you guys already know us, so we can stay around and do stuff. It's just me keeping it. It's not going to be open to everyone so that we can just focus on everyone a little bit more. So yeah, Aaron, I'll be able to chat with you about all this more because I'll nerd out. And I'm sure everyone else could get some value about thinking about the structure of the people, then how you transition and looking through different case studies. Even if you had a situation, you're like, hey, what would we do about this one? Like, well, let's talk about this one specifically because it's something to talk in generalities. And, architect, would you design a building? It's like, oh, we can design in a box, but it's when we have constraints, all those constraints of there's water on this side, the height difference, this is what the user is going to be doing. This is what all those different constraints is what makes a beautiful solution. And so that's what is really where the learning happens. And that's where the value happens, is that we've got a case study, something that we're working on. We look at that unique situation and say, all right, we've said some generalities. Now, what's this unique situation? Because they're all a little different. And what's even the operators, if you're going to buy it versus we're buying it, right? What are the skills and values and things that they have already to make it the best choice possible for that person, for that park in the time that we are in the world right now, because things change in macroeconomics too. So there's so many factors that are always happening. The specific one is fun to look through. So yeah, when you've got something, start thinking about how you want to live, how you want to manage, what you want to do as your goals for that. And then you can work backwards to figure out, all right, what management do we need in place and what checks and balances and what things do I know? Where would I be a good fit in the whole hierarchy of ownership? And, if I have some gaps, how do I fill those gaps? Do I want to learn those things? Maybe I want to learn them just to learn them for now. I don't have to do them later, but just introspective, kind of like, hey, it's the beginning of the year, goal setting, right? Figuring out where you're going. But if you don't know where you're going, you're just wandering around. Let's be real, right? You're just wandering around having a good time. And that's cool too, right? And getting some exercise. All those things are cool. But I would love to guide everyone so that you're at least working towards where you want to go, because why not? It's an and that we can have in life, not or. So working towards where you want to go while you're learning, filling your gaps along the way, earning money, coming to our parks and enjoying them with us, seeing all that, learning at all of that, all at the same time. That's the excitement that we have moving forward. So yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone that responds to Ralph. He'll send things out. Anything else, Ralph? Wrap that up.
Yes. So we just to everybody that's in the call, we thought long and hard about this change because it's clearly getting traction, and we definitely see how much value everyone gets from the shared experience, right? So you learn from other people's questions and situations. So you're even though people might not have the deal live to bring it up to us, every day they leave with new information and new nuances that they didn't know before. So in effort to not let you guys down, but also putting out more relevant information. So even though the events are coming to a pause right now, we are working towards creating tons of content. So things that we talk about here, situations that we've seen people go through, and we are going through in our parks. All this content is going to be put out, and all the videos, everything. So we're focusing and expanding the knowledge instead of just closing it down, right? So we have tons of people that reach out to us, say, hey guys, can we do this a different time, because I'm in Pacific Standard time and I can't be in this calls every time. So, but I would love to. So it's like, how do we make Greeks and Trojans happy at the same time? Is by putting out enough information with relevant resources in a way that you guys can consume it at your own time, right? So it's not like Zac tends to say, it's not an or, it's an and. So we will be working closely with all of you guys, so you're not losing this. And you're getting tons of content that is going to be put on social media, on our YouTube. We're going to start ramping up our podcast, bringing experts in matter in different things, so you guys can learn also from people that have been doing this for 30 plus years, right? So even though we do our best to do 360 and help everyone, it is impossible for us to have our hands-on and experience with everything. Therefore, we should bring the people that can answer your questions the best way possible and based on previous experience and situations. So again, I don't want anybody here to feel bummed. We were like, man, we thought a lot about you guys. So in our way around this is to just let's pump out more content, different ways, shorts, reels, the YouTube channel with long forms, the podcast. So this year we're gearing up on that end without letting you guys out or letting you guys down.
Heck yeah. It is fun and exciting. I'm excited. It's just a shift. And anytime there's change, what we naturally are just like, oh, change is not good. It's almost like a saying people go. And I know for any of the tenants that I have in my property, they don't want any change. They don't want anything shook up, because that's what they've learned. Change is not good. But this is good change. This is great change, in fact. It's just not what we expected, right? And that's okay, because sometimes things happen in our life from the side, and it's for our best interest. We just don't know it yet. Those are the fun ones, right? Because we don't see it in the moment, but it is right over there. So I'm very excited to see you guys on the other side of this, do some deals. Ralph will be in contact with you about all of that. So with that, have an awesome weekend. Let's go buy some RV parks together. We'll look for all your deals, and hey, lots of success.
Ralph, oh, sorry. Before you hung up, Ralph, I sent you a different email for notifications. Did you see that?
On the chat?
Yeah. I messaged you direct for to add that email for notifications.
Let me do one thing.
Okay. Sorry, Zac, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was afraid you're going to hang up.
We got you, Tam. You got right in. See?
To everyone, this is my direct line. You guys are more than welcome to reach out. Tim, I hate doing this, but if you can text me there, it will be the best way that I can follow up. And for everyone that needs just to analyze and look at the marketing or sales part of it, more than welcome to reach out. We're here for all of you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Ralph, putting your phone number there. Cool. Well, cool. All right. Let's have some fun. Let's buy some parks. Let's go hug someone. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Invest In podcast. I hope you picked up insights to fuel your investing journey. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave a rating and review. It helps more adventurers like you find us. For behind-the-scenes content and updates on our RV resort projects, follow @GoInvestIn on Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Want to dive even deeper? Visit MaverikAsherInvestments.com for resources, and tune into next Thursday for another episode. Until then, keep investing, keep exploring, and I'll see you on the road.